Imagine a god with not one face, not two, but three, all at once: creator, preserver, and destroyer. Wait, what? Earlier this year, I was climbing a hill in Mumbai, dodging souvenir stalls, piles of incense, and even a holy cow or two, when I stepped into a cave and froze. There it was, a colossal Shiva, three faces staring down at me, carved from solid rock. One face calm, meditative, one fierce and fearsome, one protective and watchful. I couldn't help thinking, wait, is this like the Christian Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but Hindu style? Today, we're exploring Shiva's Trimurti at the Elephanta Caves, why humans across time keep turning to Trinities, and what it reveals about our hunger for meaning beyond organized religion. Welcome to Around the World of Faith, a space for the spiritually curious, questioners, and deconstructors. If you've ever looked at religion and thought, wait, what? You're in the right place. Stick around, because by the end, we'll see how a cave in Mumbai connects to a global pattern, how humans everywhere around the world are obsessed with dividing the divine into threes. The Elephanta Caves sit on a rocky island just outside of Mumbai. UNESCO calls them masterpieces of rock-cut art, and yes, the craftsmanship is breathtaking. But what really stopped me was the theology in stone. This isn't just a statue, it's an entire concept of divinity carved into rock. The Trimurti shows Shiva in three faces: one calm and creator-like, one protective and preserving, one fierce and destructive. These aren't three gods, they're three aspects of one ultimate reality, all coexisting at once. And this version is not commonly accepted today. It seems that the three gods, the ones powerful today, Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer, all existed before this Trimurti version. But it was humankind's attempt to reconcile the three, and so they merged into one. Religions love to say, our God is the one true God. Seems like all of them believe in their God, but not so much in the others. But when I discover the Trinity is in other religions, it makes me wonder about the comparisons. If you've ever wrestled with the absurdity of religion, how it doubles down on mystery and then calls it truth, you are not alone. So let's look around. Christianity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, three persons, one God. Sound familiar? Theologians have spilled oceans of ink trying to make it make sense. But at the end of the day, it's basically a divine group project where nobody can quit. Buddhism, the Trikaya, or three bodies of the Buddha. One body that walks the earth, one that's cosmic and eternal, and one that's truth itself. Three forms, one Buddha. Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest religions, boiled it down to action: good thoughts, good words, good deeds. A trinity of ethics rather than divinity. Even the Celts loved their triads: life, death, and birth, land, sea, and sky. And don't forget the triple goddesses: Maiden, Mother, and Crone. These here based on Bridget. And it doesn't stop there. Taoism speaks of the three pure ones, and even modern New Age folks can't resist their mind, body, spirit triangle. And how many cultures have spoken of three worlds? Almost all of them: sky, above, earth, and underworld. Too many to mention. Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Mayans, Aztecs, Inca, Chinese, Shinto, Hindu, Buddhists. The idea of heavens, earth, and hell is ubiquitous. Everywhere you look, humans keep packaging the infinite into threes. It's like we're convinced reality itself needs a tripod to stand. And here's the question that nagged me as I wandered through and gazed at these amazing statues Do these trinities point to one spiritual truth? Or are humans everywhere kind of using the same trick to help us believe? Stick with me, because here's where it gets personal. I was there with my wife, Michaela. We took a taxi across Mumbai, explored the gateway of India while waiting for the hour-long ride on a crowded boat. We rode a small toy train and then hiked, sweaty after the climb up Elephanta Island, brushing past tourists and locals and vendors hawking carved elephants, bangles, and Bollywood posters. A cow blocked the path for a while because, of course it did. We made it though. We're at the main cave number 1, which is for Shiva, and it's a variety of Shivas. There's 19 Shivas carved in here, and we're gonna go inside and take a look at some of the sculptures. I stepped into the main cave, and suddenly it was quiet. Cool air, dim light, and this towering Trimurti staring down at me. Over 20 feet tall, carved out of solid rock more than 1,000 years ago. And standing there, I felt both awe and confusion. I mean, obviously these gods weren't real, not the true God, because I grew up hearing about that. Part of me wanted to laugh. 3 faces of God carved in a cave while I'm dripping sweat and dodging cows and vendors outside. But another part of me felt something crack open. The sacred is too much for one face to handle. And that realization hit me harder than the Mumbai heat. Because if trinities are humans' attempts to hold contradictions together, maybe that's the real message. Not dogma, but honesty. The honesty that we don't know the truth for certain. The honesty that we're only trying to find the truth and may not ever get an answer. Until death, possibly. Here's what stuck with me. Trinities aren't about divine math. They're about honesty. Life is messy. Creation and destruction, peace and chaos, beginnings and endings all tangled together. And maybe that's why humans keep carving 3 faces onto one God, because one image can't capture the full truth. We can and should be puzzled. 3 gods who are one, or one God with 3 faces? But maybe Shiva is a mirror, reminding us that we are all creators, preservers, and destroyers, and that the universe itself needs creators, preservers, and even destroyers. For me, leaving organized religion didn't mean leaving behind the search for spiritual truth. What I saw in Elephanta Caves is a reminder that spirituality doesn't have to have dogma. It can be art, symbol, even paradox. And if you think you're the only one who's wrestled with this, you are not alone. I promise you are not alone. Even in contradiction, there's beauty. Even in chaos, there's meaning. And maybe that's enough. So, any thoughts on Trinities? Drop a comment. Someone else may need to hear what you have to say. And if you're new here, like, subscribe, and let's wander on to the next stop together. Thank you.